There you go. I'll bet you it's working now. I think we figured it out. Was told we have no sound, but I think we have it figured out. So 10-9 St. Francis. Some substitutions here for both sides, including Ely and Gurman in for Viterbo. Yeah. We had sound, hadn't been turned on, but sound is now on, so we're now good. All right, 10-9 St. Francis, early first. Inside from Mitchell. Mitchell, big swing inside. Stood in and took one there, and results in a continuation of the point. Inside again from Mitchell. Overpass by Simon, and three attempts from Mitchell. No kills in this point so far. Left side for Ely, goes back corner, and good. We've been far enough along in the point that I don't remember who, but I think it was either Rodriguez or Hungate that kind of stood in there and kind of took one for the squad and kept the point alive before Viterbo finally put it away. So 10-10. Back to Connor serving, so back to the original rotation here. Yeah, good first rotation if you're St. Francis. I think you'd be pretty happy with this first rotation. Viterbo in a way didn't play great and still tied. Cross-court pass tipped over and then blocked by Treptow and Mitchell, and the ball is good. And I'll go back left to the libero Simon. Right side, swing, and went back under the net on the way through, so point St. Francis. Broadway will check back in to serve. I'm pretty happy if you're Cara Courier in that first rotation for St. Francis, and in a way for Viterbo, didn't play great and still tied, so. The left side for Halverson. Halverson splits the block and puts it away. Able to beat Broadway. And you'll see Halverson make a nice swing in her first match back. Jar and check back in for Viterbo. Back to Simon. Left side, big swing by Hungate and out. And no sign of a tip. No, we did have a tip here. We did have a tip indicated. Yeah, we did have a tip indicated by the up man there, Andy Williams. So point St. Francis and tied at 12 apiece. Knuckleball serve out. Good decision by Mitchell and check. 13-12. Hinsman back in for Mitchell. A lot of leaders among the conference stats here that we'll pass along here momentarily. Free ball here for Viterbo. Connor inside and off the block was Treptow. Left side for Hungate. Hungate, nice swing, dug up by Check. Connor will go left side for Jar. Jar off the block, dug up by Simon. Free ball and again for Viterbo. Maybe give and go here with Jar. No, they go right side for Hinsman off the block. And then gets the point off the block, does St. Francis. Hungate was among those in on the block. $15 available total players, just counting along the sideline here for St. Francis. Had only 9 here did the opponent on Saturday. Left side for Jar. Jar short. Not sure that ever got over, but play on. Jar will tip it over now and get the kill against Simon. And I have a feeling that was a milestone for somebody. And I apologize, I missed the, somebody must have been a 1,000 kill or something, big kill. Big number kill, whatever it might have been. 500 for Halverson, be my guess, or Jar. 500 for Jar, okay. Got it. 500 for Izzy Jar, that would make sense as far as a career milestone late in her sophomore season. 14 apiece. Left side for Jar again. Well, big swing by Jar. Able to beat Hungate that time in the back row. And Jar, as we saw, started serving a little more with the injury to Halverson last week, and she'll continue with that here. A little knuckleball from Jar. Left side, off the block. Started by Polavina. Left side for Halverson off the block and the kill. 16-14, I believe the first 2-point lead for Viterbo in the set. After very early, they won the first 2 points with Connor's serve. I think the first 2-point lead since then. Jar will continue to serve. Inside quick offense and able to beat Jar in the back row. Swing that time by 15 Delaney Kirstein. Libero Simon out. German back in for Viterbo as well. Go back right. Good late decision by German. I think Halverson recognized that before German did. Mia Quist in to serve along with Mitchell back in. Quist has done some good work not only in the serving here, but just in general on offense here in recent matches with Halverson out, but now back. Overspin on that serve from Quist. Right side, big swing, but a big block by Mitchell, and I believe it was Halverson on left side. It was. (18-15) 3-point lead for Viterbo. More overspin on that serve from Simon. That's going to be an ace for Mia Quist. Mr. Quist on the other side, very happy. Signaling to the gods or what he's doing over there, but again, some overspin from Quist. Left side, tip, blocked back by Mitchell and Ely. 20-15, timeout St. Francis. Best stretch of the match here for Viterbo thus far. Well, this time we gave stats here. St. Francis was leading in terms of hitting percentage. Vioxx now leading in terms of hitting percentage, hitting .258 in this first set. 11 kills, 3 errors, 31 attacks. St. Francis so far 11 kills, 4 errors, 29 attacks. And ran through the all-conference stuff. Yeah, Hungate is 4th in kills per set, 2nd in total kills in the conference. Woodrich is 5th in blocks per set. Simon 5th in digs per set, 1st in aces per set. So 3 different players there among the top 5 in the conference in various stats. Same for Viterbo. Jada Mitchell 1st in the league in hitting percentage and blocks per set. Sadie Treptow is 4th in both of those categories, 4th in hitting percentage, 4th in blocks per set. Reese Gurman 3rd in digs per set, 2nd in total digs. So 2 of the top 5 in digs per set, 3 of the top 5 in terms of blocks per set between these two teams. The kind of match where I thought depth might be a little more important here. I think that's maybe played out here in the second half of the, kind of as we've gotten through the first rotation, gotten towards the second half of the second rotation here. I think Viterbo has been a little bit our teams in terms of depth. Double handling that serve resulted in a free ball. Inside from Mitchell. Mitchell tipped to the middle, dug up, and then put away by Mitchell on the overpass. 21-15 Viterbo. I've said all year with Viterbo, the ceiling's high enough. That's not the problem. Is the floor high enough? It might be a question for Ryan DeLong after the match. Nice service run here by Quist. We get a tip out of that, and that'll be out. Good decision by Ely. 22-15. Very nice run here for Viterbo, and does have a timeout left, does Kara Courier, but going to opt not to take it. First time they've gotten a decent swing out of this Quist service run. Halverson will get an attack out of that, dug up by Hungate. Back set, tip, down the line, off the block, point St. Francis. Ends the run at least 6 straight, 22-16. Gurman back in for Viterbo. And Morris back in for St. Francis. Right side for Ely. Ely, nice swing, nice dig up by Hungate. Free ball for Viterbo. Inside for Mitchell. Mitchell puts it away. 23-16 V-Hawks. Treptow and Connor back in. Better second rotation there. Was 10 apiece after the first rotation. V-Hawks outscore them 13-6 in the second rotation and now lead 23-16. 2 points away here from the first set. Connor knuckleball. Right side and blocked back by Treptow and Mitchell. Looked like a decent swing that time from Morris, but V-Hawks now first set point. Women's basketball following this. I'm not sure who's got the commentary on that. I am going to head back to the real job and get up at 3 in the morning for that, so just volleyball for me tonight. Back row attack here will be long, and that'll do it. The Hawks win the first set 25-16. Wait till the, there we go, catches up here. So the V-Hawks hit 278 in that first set. 13 kills, 3 errors, 36 attacks. St. Francis hits 147 in that first set. 12 kills, 7 errors, 34 attacks. Four service errors for St. Francis in that first set. 1 for Viterbo. That's a good sign. That's been an issue at times this season. Much better at the net, too. 5 blocks for Viterbo in that first set. Just 1 for St. Francis. So V-Hawks better at the net. V-Hawks a little better attacking. And V-Hawks not so many service errors in that first set. 3 good signs. Jada Mitchell leads the V-Hawks through the first set with 4 kills. No errors, hitting 500. 4 blocks as well. On pace for a double-double. Izzy Jar, 3 kills, hitting 429, 3 digs as well. Haley Halverson, a couple of kills. Treptow, a couple of blocks. Maddie Connor, 5 assists through the first set. A couple of blocks as well for Ely. Couple of digs for Inks. Reese Gurman leads Viterbo with 6 digs, also has a couple assists. Jaden Polavina with 4 assists through 1 set. For St. Francis, Alyssa Teskey, 4 kills, 2 errors, hitting 333, 4 assists as well, 3 digs. So she said she had that kind of monster triple-double about 6 weeks ago. 16 kills, 22 assists, 20 digs, and I can see that happening now. Emma Rodriguez, 3 kills through a set for St. Francis. Delaney Kirstein's got 3 kills as well, hitting 1,000. Nice start to the match for her. Riley Hungate, a couple of kills and 3 digs. And Simon's got 3 digs. She, Teskey, and Hungate all 3 digs each to lead St. Francis in the first set. Masana had a couple, 7 assists as well, and Teskey had 4 assists. But Viterbo better at the net. Viterbo no service or few service errors, and Viterbo better hitting percentage. So two of the 4 kind of key stats, hitting percentage and blocks, but also good sign. Only 1 service error in that first set. It's been an issue at times this year. Been an issue at times the last 2 years. This would be kind of a middle opponent too. I know we talked about that with Ryan DeLong after the Northwestern match, where you get that Northwestern match, you're probably going to take a few more chances because you can get them out of system, increases your chances of winning points and winning sets and winning matches. But this isn't a match like, trying to think, Mount Mary, unfortunately, is the first one that comes to mind, which will be Viterbo's opponent on Friday. That's a match where you don't want to commit a lot of service errors and give them a lot of free points, is basically what you're doing when you commit a service error against them. Make them earn their points. This team's probably a little closer to Northwestern in terms of taking some chances with the serves, and been pretty good in this first set with that as a possible benchmark. Looks like the same starting group for Viterbo in this first set, and it looks like the same starting group for St. Francis in this set. Checking everybody. We've got everybody but one number. Got the girl farthest to the left here. I don't have a number for yet. And she'll turn her body, and I will confirm that is everybody. So both teams going to go with their starting 6 here in the second set. And Viterbo served to begin the first set here, so it'll be St. Francis to serve to begin the second. First of many matches here for Viterbo. Viterbo, as we said, at home Friday, 6 o'clock match against Mount Mary of Milwaukee. Viterbo will host the conference tournament as long as they're alive, so quarterfinal match a week from tonight. If they win that, semifinal match week from Thursday. If they win that, championship match week from Saturday. First swing of the second set here. It's from McKenna Ely. Mitchell will tip over to the middle, and Mitchell will get the kill. Treptow and Connor back in. Slightly different. I guess I misphrased that. Basically the same setup here because Connor and Treptow are coming in. You've got your final rotation of what was your second unit in the first set. Starts the second set, and then Connor and Treptow come in. That's going to be free ball. Inside for Mitchell, and Mitchell puts it away. Teskey did her best to keep that one up, but needed to get a block on that one from Woodrich and didn't get one. It's going to be a misplay, and that ended up hitting the official, so that killed that point. Tried to chase it down, did Teskey. Connor will go with Littlebaro Simon. Morris will play it on. Actually, Hungate will play it over. Inside, the fake to Mitchell and the swing from Treptow, but it was out. Like that offense, wish Viterbo would use it more often. Broadway'll check in to serve for St. Francis. I'm good to see Nate Byer here tonight. Haven't seen him a whole lot recently. Connor will go inside for Mitchell, and Mitchell with the cut shot and able to beat Broadway on the right side. I don't think Broadway was expecting that one. Ability to attack in different styles with different shots from the middle of the floor. Strong suit of Jada Mitchell. Barely over the net. 4-1 Viterbo here, second set. Tipped over by Morris. Connor will set up Mitchell inside. Mitchell the tip here. Nice dig up by Morris. That'll be played over. Mitchell does well to keep that alive. You can get a swing on this by Treptow, but not a lot on it. Teskey will tip and didn't get over. Excuse me, Hungate will tip and it didn't get over. 5-1 Viterbo. And apparently we had somebody in the net on that point. And Long not enthralled with the call that time, but that'll be a point. St. Francis out of that, so it'll make it 4-2. Vhawks must have been in the net. I think it was Treptow that was in the net. They'll go to Treptow. Treptow tips to the middle, dug up by Hungate. Dug up by Teskey, excuse me. This is Hungate. Hungate, a nice swing. Maybe her best swing of the match so far. Gurman couldn't get to that one, 4-3. And Libero Simon will serve. Back left to check. And big swing, Jar, block back. Again to Jar. Jar will tip to the middle this time. Left side for Hungate, blocked back by Mitchell and Treptow. Big up by Gurman. And Gurman will play it over. And Reese Gurman will get a kill. Not a frequent occurrence. Hinsman back in for Mitchell. 5-3 Viterbo. Miscommunication there. Well, that would have been a double hit in the old days. Doesn't matter because we get Treptow and Hinsman that time combining for the block. Yeah, that clearly would have been a double hit that time. Old rules, but they've basically taken the double hit from the setter away. It's no longer a call. It's no longer a call much in high school either, I've been told. Inside, and a good swing that time inside to beat Gurman. A swing inside that time from Kirstein. 6-4 Viterbo. And Masano will check in to serve. Don't have anybody in the rotation taller than 5'10" for St. Francis. Explore that in a little more detail here in a sec. Played over. Left side tip, played up by Gurman. To Jar. I don't think that ever got over. It did not. Among players who played a lot so far, Moore's 5'8", Simon 5'7", Masana 5'5", Rodriguez 5'8", Babisco 5'2", Hungate 5'9", Kirstein 5'10", Teskey 5'9", Woodrich 5'10". So nobody taller than 5'10" in the standard rotation. Simon digs up the Treptow swing. Off the block, guarded by Connor. Offside for Jar. And Jar able to put it away. Able to beat Broadway. Viterbo on the other hand, 5'11" or taller. Izzy Jar 5'11". Dorn, who we haven't seen tonight, 5'11", but Hinsman 6'1", Ely 6 foot, Mitchell 6'1". Treptow 5'10", equaling the size there. Viterbo just a couple inches bigger at about every spot up front. 7-5 Viterbo, second set. Won the first set 25-16. Knuckleball that barely get over, and that'll turn into an ace. 8-5 Viterbo. And second libero, Celeste Zavala, who I don't think we've seen so far tonight, will check in here for St. Francis. And we have seen Zavala, but hasn't done anything statistically up to this point. And miscue that time will lead to an ace. Back-to-back aces for Polavina. 9-5 Viterbo. Another knuckleball. This one will be played up. Left side, Hungate. Hungate will beat Czech. 9-6. Rodriguez back in for Babiscow for St. Francis. Hungate to go to the opposite side. Some miscommunication there between Czech and Jar. 9-7. Go to that same neck of the woods. Probably not a bad idea. Hinsman with a big swing inside. Off the pass from Polavina. Mind you, Lauren Sabaski a little bit inside. About the same size. Needs to be a free ball at minimum for Viterbo, and instead it'll just be an ace. Jar with an ace makes it 11-7. I'm not sure why Jenna Bean here, top assistant, is not here this evening. Kind of noticed that. Off the block, and that'll be a kill for Rodriguez. Ely and Inks back in. 11-8 Viterbo, second set. A deep left serve location. That's where Gurman likes to serve for Viterbo. No back corner and out. Good late decision there by Halverson and Gurman. Mitchell and Mia Quist back in for Viterbo. Other libero Simon back in for St. Francis. And also get 14 Aubrey Dorn into the match. But Dorn potentially could play a doubleheader tonight if they allowed her to. She's also on the basketball team, and their game tonight against Northwestern of Iowa will follow this. That'll be just out. That overspin by Quist. Had a good service night, so you can kind of deal with an error or two. Gurman and Ely back in. Hungate, or Teskey, serving. Mitchell off the block, dug up. Well, get something out of this. Played over, but an easy dig up by Gurman. Left side for Halverson. Halverson cross court for the kill. 13-9 Viterbo. Treptow and Connor back in. Better first rotation. You remember it was 10-10 after the first rotation in the first set. It's now 13-9 after this rotation, first rotation in the second set. Connor will go back middle to Simon. Right side, over the block. Connor will set up Halverson left side. Halverson cross court. Nice dig up by Hungate. Right side for Morris. And got a piece of that, did Inks, but couldn't get it going in the right direction. Point St. Francis. Kind of similar in his first set, was reasonably tight about halfway to 2/3 of the way through the set, and then Viterbo pulled away here. We'll see if that happens again as Babiskow is in to serve. Halverson with a big swing. Dug up. Hungate will tip it over. And dump over by Connor, but kept up by Hungate. Connor will set up Mitchell inside. Mitchell off the block. Dug up. Morris out. Ball is outside the antenna. Point V-Hawks 14-10. Jarin check back in. Check to serve. Out. I think it was along the sideline. I don't think it was out baseline. I think it was out sideline, and Hungate recognizes that for the point. 14-11. Libero Simon serving. Decision by check. I don't always do this with opponents here. Always check classes in school. Seniors for St. Francis. Masana, Hungate, Woodrich. Lose a little bit. Line drive serve from Gurman. And then a misplay by Morris will result in a point. 16-11 Viterbo. Veteran coach here in Cara Courier. Not a lot of coaches that Ryan DeLong faces as head coaches that have more tenure, but Courier does. 24th year, Ryan DeLong 21st year for Viterbo. Block at the net, solo block for Jalen Hinsman. Timeout St. Francis. 17-11 Viterbo leads here in the second. Quite an offensive set here. Viterbo hitting .238 in his second set. 7 kills, 2 errors, 21 attacks. St. Francis hitting .158 in his second set. 6 kills, 3 errors, 19 attacks. I don't think I just thought about this. I never gave the 4 factors tonight, did I? Let's do that right now. Conference play, Viterbo averaging 12.4 kills per set, St. Francis 10.9. So advantage V-Hawks there. Hitting percentage, V-Hawks 245, St. Francis 135 in conference play. Advantage Viterbo there. 2.3 blocks per set for Viterbo, 1.6 for St. Francis in conference play. Advantage Viterbo. Digs per set, St. Francis 17, V-Hawks 14.2, advantage St. Francis. So Viterbo was the favorite here in 3 of the 4 factors heading into the match. Means next time we'll get into more individual stats when we get a break. First time out of the set for either team. Gurman will serve in her usual back left location. Simon will play it over, free ball. Connor inside, actually left side for Jar, blocked back, kept alive, and then put away. Hungate will get the credit for the kill there, but Malaya Morris will got the big block on the swing from Jar on the left side to set up Hungate being able to win that point. As Masano will check in to serve. Apologize for that. Try to get the first four factors in either for the match or at the first timeout, and I completely zoned out and forgot them. Right side for Treptow, dug up by Simon. Hungate off the block, dug up by Connor. Treptow will get a swing off this. Left side for Hungate, over the block, dug up by Czech. Inside for Hinsman. Hinsman a cut shot, dug up by Simon. Left side Teskey with a tip, dug up by Gurman. Jar with a big swing, and Jar able to put it away. 18-12, one of the longer rallies of the match, and Viterbo wins the point. Dorn will check back in for Connor. Polavina in for Treptow to serve. Side for Hungate off the block, and Czech couldn't keep it up. Point St. Francis, back within 18-13. Out, good decision by Czech along the sideline, 19-13. Jar to serve. On left side for Hungate, block back. Hinsman and Ely will combine on that block. 20-13 Viterbo. Trying to keep the questions good and pithy for Ryan DeLong after the match. Always keeping half an eye on that. Well, that'll be a back row attack. I don't think that was the intention there, but left side for Halverson. Overpass, and that'll be a net violation on St. Francis. I believe that was Kirstein that was in the net. Casey Franklin will check in here, place Halverson for a series of points. Jar continues to serve. Simon will play it over free ball. Right side for Ely. Ely is dig up by Hungate. Simon will play it over. Miscommunication on the pass. Jar will play it over. He'll play it over second set, trying to catch him out of system. Franklin will end up setting up Ely, who tips over to the middle and dug up by Teskey. An interesting point here. Ely the swing in system. Dug up. Teskey will play it over, dug up by Polavina. German right side for Ely again with a swing, and Ely will get the kill. Another long point there. Viterbo, both teams kind of out of system there in the middle of that point, but the V-Hawks stick with it, get the point, and now within 3 points of a 2-0 lead. Do not see any of the dance team ladies here, so I don't think we're getting dance team between the second and third set. Jar, a nice service run here. Polavina will set up Ely again. Played over by Teskey, dug up by Ely. Left side for Franklin. Franklin cross court will get the kill. The Hawks 2 points away from a 2-0 lead. Kind of mentioned it not too long ago. I think it was 13-10. Now it's 23-13. So 10-3 spurt here for Viterbo on an Izzy Jar service run. They go inside and able to, that's going to be 4, so that should have been 4. Boy, both refs completely missed 4. Both refs completely missed the 4 point, 4 in the middle of that point. Both completely missed it. I think they're going to give the point to St. Francis. And the up official, Andy Williams, I think is going to call over the underneath official, Tom Miller. They're just going to, now Viterbo hit 4. Clearly 4 in the middle of that point, and both officials up and down, zoned out and missed it. So they eventually got it right. Point St. Francis 23-14. Left side for Franklin. Franklin off the block gets the kill. Good work late in this second set by Casey Franklin. And V-Hawks here with a second set point. Yeah, I was saying kind of like the first set here. Was kind of close for a while, and then Viterbo pulled away late. Kind of like the second set here. They was fairly even mid-set, and Viterbo's been the better team here in the second half of the set. Quist will serve here to try and finish off the second set. Right side for Teskey. Tipped, blocked back by Mitchell and Franklin. Inside for Mitchell. Dig up that time by Masana. Tipped over, dug up by Angst. Right side for Ely, that'll be long. 24-15. Saints going to have to fight off a whole bunch more to stay in this one. Gurman back in. Morris back in for St. Francis. Teskey serving. Inside, actually more left side for Mitchell than middle. Dumped over, played up by Gurman. Inside again for Mitchell, gets a little break there from the net. And point V-Hawks to win the second set, 25-15. So V-Hawks up 2-0. They win the first two sets, 16-15. Said no dance team here, so some kind of be. Not me on a weeknight. Can't do the doubleheaders with the 3 a.m. wake-up call back about a 50-minute drive away from here. All right, looks like both teams will start with No surprises in this third set. The Hawks will serve to begin the third set with Maddie Connor. So Connor will serve. We talked about this with Connor recently. She's got a sleeve on her left leg. Standard knee pad below the knee. Has got the wrap on the leg. I'll remember momentarily. Tipped over. And first point of the third set for Malaya Morris for St. Francis. Hinsman's got the wrap on her right knee. Yep. So first point of the third set here for St. Francis. Inside to Mitchell. Mitchell tipped to the middle, but Morris is right there. Second point dump, dug up by Connor. Halverson off the block. Halverson again off the block. Dug up by Simon. And into the net that time was Hungate. I like the stick-to-itiveness there from Halverson. You get blocked, go right back to it if that's a scouting report. Kayla Marquardt in to serve. I think it might be the first time we've seen her tonight. Inside, tipped over and good. Point for Kirstein. I believe that is the first time we've seen Michaela Marquardt tonight. Checking for high school teams still alive. I think Barron would still be alive, right? Yeah, Barron's at D3 State. Luther locally in that same group. Could play in the title match if they both win in the semis. And a nice swing inside by Kirstein. Good start here, third set for St. Francis, the 3-1 lead. Halverson's mom, Brooke, the head coach at Barron, and sister, who should be a senior now, if I'm not mistaken. Big swing inside by Treptow, but dug up by Simon. Hungate will play it over, dug up by Gurman. Left side for Jar. Jar off the block. Dug up by Hungate. Left side, Teskey off the block. Blocked back by Mitchell and Jar. We won't have much of a chance to see that the rest of this year because Jada Mitchell will wrap up her college career this year. Izzy Jar's got 2 more years to play, but boy, that'd be a fun combination to see on a double block together. That'll be long on the serve by Gurman. Might be the best. I mean, obviously Treptow and Mitchell are a good blocking combination together, but Jar and Mitchell would be a really nice blocking combination together. Left side for Jar. Jar kind of off balance out. Five to St. Francis. Connor will go right side for Treptow. Treptow off the block. Outside the pin, however, so point St. Francis, timeout Viterbo. 6-2, good start for St. Francis here in the third. St. Francis not spectacular here. 3 kills, 2 errors, 167, but a rough start for Viterbo. No kills so far, couple errors, 8 total attacks, so more not great for Viterbo than spectacular from St. Francis offensively to begin this third set. The V-Hawks still out hitting him in the match, 214 to 145. Nine blocks to 1. That's still well in favor of Viterbo. Kirstein a good start to the second set. She and Hungate now lead St. Francis with 7 kills apiece. Kirstein hitting 750. Mitchell still leading Viterbo with 8 kills, hitting 444. Busy week here. We've got men's basketball home over tomorrow against Edgewood College. Viterbo with a couple starters back and pretty much all their bench back. About 5 of their 6 top reserves back from a year ago. So a lot of familiar names for the Viterbo men. Viterbo men 1-1 thus far. Left side for Jar. Jar, big swing off the block, but dug up by Simon. Left side, tipped, dug up by Jar. Second point dumped by Connor, well played. 6-3. Polavina and Ely back in. Polavina to serve. Still hold about 10 years later, and Connor going to go down as probably one of the top 10 setters that Viterbo, maybe top 5, but for sure top 10 setters that Viterbo's had in the 21-year career here of Ryan DeLong. That's going to be out off the serve from Polavina. Still think Amelia Gran was the best one and had the best sense of when to go to that second swing, or second, however you want to phrase it, that dump before the third and final potential swing. And that'll be an ace. And jimming and jiving there to Delaney Kirstein after she gets the ace. She did a nice match tonight. 8-3 St. Francis. Down 2-0. Into the net, point V Hawks, 8-4. Halverson back in for Viterbo with Jar serving. Side. And German able to dig up that time against Rodriguez. And Morse a freshman, Rodriguez a freshman, Kirstein a freshman, Broadway a freshman. Good freshman group here for St. Francis. 4 players that all have seen regular time tonight. Near the net, over the net, into the net. Polavina arguing here with Andy Williams on the call. And along getting an explanation from Tom Miller on the call. Now back to the action here. Point St. Francis 10-4. Continue with the class analyzing in a sec here. Ely short on that swing. 11-4 St. Francis, and Viterbo going to use their second timeout. They're going to have to not only come from a pretty big deficit here in this third set, but they're going to have to do it without being able to set stuff up for one of your better hitters late in the set if you'd like to. All right, class analyzing for St. Francis. We gave you the freshman group: Morris, Rodriguez, Kirstein, and Broadway. 4 freshmen that all play decent roles here. Good sign. Sophomore class: Simon, Babaskow, Teskey. That's not bad. That's a group of 3. Junior class, not much. So that's kind of the missing class. And next year won't be bad next year, but St. Francis got potential to be really good, you would think, in a couple of years. You've got a group with Morse, Simon, Rodriguez, Babaskow, Kirstein, Teskey, Broadway, all playing as 3rd or 4th year players. That'd be a nice group. All right, 11-4 here. Teskey continuing to serve. Eock's going to have to put a run together here to avoid a 4th set. Back left for Angst. Halverson with a big swing to hopefully get things started. Able to beat the double block of Morris and Woodrich that time. Quist to serve. Always capable of a big service run. A couple times this year, and saw that especially in her biggest match was in that national tournament opening round match here at Viterbo. Viterbo will likely host one of those again this year. That'll be out. Good decision by Quist, 11-6. That won't officially be determined until about a week and a half to 2 weeks from now, closer to 2 weeks from now. And into the net that time from Quist. 12-6. German back in for Viterbo. I don't think they get the Babiskow sub, so Babiskow will now be allowed to enter. Olavino will set up Mitchell. Mitchell, kind of a cut shot that time. I'm not sure if I can describe that. It's like a screwball might be the best way to describe the spin on that ball. I have to ask Mr. Mitchell here, who's sitting about 3 spots to our left when I saw him at watering hole after the match on Saturday. If Jada potentially going to play in Europe, like a big swing that time from Hungate. Whether she's going to potentially explore playing in Europe as Natalie Geidel and Aubrey Aspen, two big middles from about 7 or 8 years ago now, both did. Simon will serve the libero, 13-7. We're just leading the set 7. It's 6 at the moment for St. Francis. I'll go inside for Mitchell. Simon got a piece of that one near the net. And it'll be a lie for Viterbo. Mitchell tip to the middle. Morris will swing to the middle. And that'll be a point for St. Francis. I was excited I've ever seen Braxton Jensen off the bench. Not happy with what he saw in the middle of that point. 14-7, 7-point lead matches St. Francis' largest lead in this third set. Viterbo up 2-0. Alverson into the net, 15-7, so that's now the largest lead. And Viterbo used their 2 timeouts early. Franklin will check back in for Halverson. Said it earlier, it seems like it's more Viterbo not playing great than it is St. Francis playing. St. Francis is playing better, 273 they're hitting, but Viterbo hitting negative 062. Mitchell's going to have to play that over. Inside, big swing, nice dig up by Gurman. We'll set up Franklin left side, and Franklin puts it away. 15-8. Marquardt in to serve. Near the net, but played, tipped, blocked back. Back set, and a big block back, but out that time from Mitchell and Treptow. So Hungate will get credit for that kill. Masana in to serve. Big swing for Treptow inside, but out. No sign of a tip from either line judge. 17-8 in the third. And like I said, Viterbo used their 2 timeouts early here, so going to have to do this without the aid of a timeout. Barely over the net, dug up by Gurman. Back set for Mitchell, and Mitchell puts it away. Gurman will serve. Played over, dug up by Connor. Right side for Treptow. Dug up by Simon. Left side for Hungate. Free ball here as Gurman will play it over. Walked back by Hinsman, point B-Hawks. Never got over the net, four hits. 17-10. Viterbo fortunate there. Connor kind of lost her footing in the middle of that point, so Viterbo was out of system, but sometimes that big block at the net can get you back into system real quick. Off the block that time from Teskey. 18-10 in the third. Near the net, Connor couldn't play that one. Ball must have been good. 19-10. Right side for Treptow, dug up by Simon. Dug up by Gurman. Left side for Jar. Dug up there, and that'll be a point. Viterbo on the kill for Jar. Hungate actually played that one off the ceiling and hit one of the brackets off the ceiling, went right back to the floor as the setter was trying to get set up. 19-11, Viterbo still a pretty big hill to climb here to avoid going to a fourth. Viterbo in the first two sets, 16 and 15. And will be good recognition in the middle of that point. Cross court dug up. Good recognition by Kirstein, and then Masana dig up. Then blocked back by Jar and Hinsman. 19-12. Whatever the baseball or the volleyball reference would be for making them use your closer might be the thing if you're Viterbo here. At least you get them to do some things that cost them some energy in the fourth set. That's a good thing. Blocked back by McKenna Ely. 19-13. Say making them use a timeout, but that's probably not the same as making them use your closer. Making them use their closer, I guess, may be a better way to phrase that. Polavina continues to serve here. And into the net, 20-13. Kind of killed their own momentum there. This is going to be, Ely will play it over, not officially free ball, but kind of. Second point dump, dug up by Gurman. Inside for Hinsman, Hinsman off the block. Yeah, that's going to be an illegal hit that time, a lift by St. Francis, so 20-14. Libero Brown, or Simon back in. Jar will serve. Second hit attack will be well long from Teskey that time. 20-15. Maybe thinking about a timeout maybe as Cara Courier. Not yet. Inside, played over, dug up by Jar. Near side post for Ely. Ely puts it away. Able to beat Hungate that time. No sign of a timeout from Cara Courier. We're going to go with a deep sub here. A deeper sub. As number 7, Olivia Cosgrove will check in. Might be the first time we have seen Olivia Cosgrove tonight. It is. So in lieu of a timeout here, they'll go a little deeper into the bench. Jar serving again. This will be a free ball here for Viterbo. Inside for Casey Franklin. Casey Franklin puts it away. Franklin giving some Viterbo some good work. 5-point run for Viterbo was 20-12, 20-17. Well, whatever, like I said, whatever the volleyball equivalent was, make them use their closer. Viterbo's done it here. Made them use a timeout here and made them sweat a little bit. Viterbo hitting 138 in this third set. St. Francis now hitting 043, so that's been more. Viterbo didn't play great here, and they've got some momentum now. Viterbo hitting 229 for the match. St. Francis hitting 118. Yeah, the service errors in this third set have not been good. I believe 4 of the 7 errors here in this third set. 6 aces, 7 errors. Okay, big picture. 2 service aces, 8 errors for St. Francis. Block still big time favor in Viterbo, 11-1. Hungate leads St. Francis with 9 kills. Kirstein with 7. Mitchell leading the V-Hawks with 10 kills. Izzy Jar with 6. Jar will continue to serve here. Right side played over by Teskey. He'll play it all the way to the corner, but Hanks digs it up. Inside for Hinsman. Hinsman puts it away. 6 straight for Viterbo and back within 2, 20-18. And the Ryan DeLong thought over there to only something along, just relax and play. We're the better team here. If we play better, we can wrap this up in 3. Cross court out, 20-19. 7 straight for Viterbo to get back within 1. Car Courier does have 1 timeout remaining. Will opt not to use it here. A little excitement from Phil Weisbecker, one of the assistants for Viterbo. He's getting in it a little bit as well. Inside, played over. Nice dig up by Jar. Get something out of this, Will Franklin. Dug up by Simon. Left side. Block back. And that'll be a point V-Hawks. 8 straight. Ely and Hinsman combined for that block. 8 straight. V-Hawks have gotten it back tied at 20-20. Didn't think this was coming 8 points ago. And Izzy Jar will serve here in this big run. That's going to get caught up in the rafters. That'll result in a swing, but basically a free ball and out. V-Hawks have taken the lead, 21-20, 9 straight. We said here men's basketball coming up after this one. Or women's basketball, excuse me. Stick around. Knuckleball from Jar. That'll be an ace for Izzy Jar. 10 straight. V-Hawks now 3 points away here from a 3-set sweep. Car Courier does have the timeout remaining. She'll choose not to use it again. They're going to sub in a different spot here. Going to sub in with one Zavala. And Zavala is going to replace Masana. The Hawks 3 points away. They'll go right at Zavala. Inside and couldn't keep that one up. Could Polavina on the left side, 22-21. Inks back in for Viterbo. For Jar, nice, outstanding service run for Jar. And Kirstein will serve here, trying to tie it up in the 3rd. Is that Teskey? That's Teskey, beg your pardon. And Ely with a big swing. V-Hawks 2 points away. Mia Quist will serve with Jada Mitchell back in. V-Hawks 2 points away here from the sweep. Right side played over. No, I'm not sure that ever got over. If it did, it didn't matter because Mitchell and Franklin got the block. V-Hawks with a match point. Down 20-12. They have won 12 of the last 13 points and are now a point away here from a 3-set sweep. Didn't see this coming about a dozen points ago. Crystal serve. Inside, block back. Swung, dug up. The Hawks here swing to put it away. Casey Franklin, and Casey Franklin will get the kill. The Hawks complete the sweep. 16, 15, and 21. The Hawks were down 20-12 in the 3rd set. They win 13 of the last 14 points to win this one in a sweep. 16, 15, and 21. The Hawks now are 23-6 on the year. 17-0 in Chicagoland play. Have won 34 straight in Chicagoland play. Overall winning streak now to 6 straight. They've also won 10 of 11. 8-2 now at home are the V-Hawks. St. Francis will drop to 17-13. 13-4. They are now in a tie for second officially with St. Xavier. A 3-game winning streak comes to an end. Dropped to 8-2 on the road, does St. Francis. So V-Hawks have already clinched the top seed for the conference tournament. St. Francis and St. Xavier are both now 13-4. They will be the 2 and the 3 seed in some order in the conference tournament. And St. Xavier, actually both have 4 losses now. Let's look at it that way. 13-4, 12-4. I've kind of counted this Mount Mary win for St. Xavier as a win, so 13-4. So assuming that holds, St. Francis's remaining matches against Olivet, St. Xavier's remaining matches against Judson. St. Francis holds the tiebreaker. That would get them the home match in that 2-3, and as we said, that 2-3 may be for a national tournament berth between St. Xavier and St. Francis a year ago. So magic number 1, 2, clinch a 2 seed and a home match in a potential national tournament qualifying match for St. Francis. So they're still okay in that regard. Got to take care of business against Olivet in their remaining match. And Olivet, if I remember it, was one of those teams that was in that 9-8 group that was in a 4-way tie for 5th. So they'll be in a conference tournament. And Judson is in that group as well. So St. Francis, St. Xavier will both be favored in the last 2, but certainly not guaranteed wins. Certainly not those kind of matches in that final match. Anything else that kind of stands out in that match? Non-statistically, not really. So let's get to the stats here while we continue to wait for Viterbo head coach Ryan DeLong. Vihawks hit 212 in that third set, 12 kills, 5 errors, 33 attacks. St. Francis hit, if I can get the live stats to work, negative 062, 9 kills, 11 errors, 32 attacks in that third set. Big lead, but it wasn't because St. Francis played great. It was more Viterbo did not play great. Then Viterbo played better there late in that third set. Continue to wait for Ryan DeLong. For the match, Vihawks hit 248, 38 kills, 11 errors, 109 attacks. St. Francis hit 078, 30 kills, 22 errors, 102 attacks. 7 aces, 7 errors for Viterbo. That's a good sign. 2 aces, 8 errors for St. Francis. And Viterbo 13 blocks to 1. So blocking the big key in that match. Serving was better. We'll pass on that question. We'll pass on that. We'll pass on that. We'll go to that. We'll go to that. You said we got women's basketball sticking around. You can see they're already getting the net off the floor here and get set up for a basketball game. I need to start there, actually. Then go there and then go there. And then go to this. And we'll finish with that. There's a good 6 questions. Back to the stats here. I think we've done everything we wanted to do team-wise. Individual stats. Jada Mitchell leads Viterbo with 10 kills tonight. No errors. Hits 435, 5 blocks as well. Izzy Jar had 6 kills, 6 digs, couple of blocks, couple of aces. Big service run for Izzy Jar. The biggest part of that service run in which Viterbo went from down at 20-12 to winning the final set 25-21. Casey Franklin had a nice match, 5 kills, no errors at 833. Jalen Hinsman, nice match as well, 5 kills, hit 1 error at 500 with 4 blocks. Haley Halverson in her return after missing 3 matches due to a concussion, 4 kills. McKenna Ely also had 4 kills, 5 blocks. Connor had a couple of kills, but for her 11 assists, 4 digs. 18 digs for Reese Gurman to lead Viterbo. Had 4 assists as well. Treptow was involved in 3 blocks and had a couple of digs. Riley Inkst had 6 digs. Paula Vina actually led Viterbo in assists tonight with 18. 4 digs, couple aces. And Grace Check had 3 digs. For St. Francis, there's a women's basketball team you can see heading out onto the floor. I wish I could stick around and watch that one. Hopefully Jordan Scar get his first win tonight for Viterbo. Riley Hungate led St. Francis tonight with 9 kills, 9 digs as well. Delaney Kirstein, 7 kills, 2 errors, hit 417, a couple of digs. Emma Rodriguez had 5 kills and 3 digs. Alyssa Teskey had 5 kills, 12 assists, 6 digs. And I can see how she had that big 16-22-20 triple-double earlier this year. Michaela Morris had 3 kills and 5 digs. Ann Simon led St. Francis with 14 digs. Talia Masana led them with 14 assists tonight. Had 8 digs, so almost a double-double for her. Babiskow had a couple of assists and 3 digs. And that's about it individual statistics-wise for St. Francis. Trying to wait for Ryan yet. Yeah, I'm trying to wait for Ryan. He's coming. I don't know if you don't leave the shot up as long as the audio. If you want to turn the shot on, great. If not, it's not the end of the world. I'm still talking. There you go, and that'll work. Just a static shot, and we can talk and go from there. Once again, Viterbo A, 16, 15, and 21 winner tonight as Ryan DeLong heads this direction. The Hawks now 23-6 on the year, 17-0 in Chicagoland play. St. Francis drops to 17-13, 13-4 in Chicagoland play. And I just figured out who's doing the commentary tonight. There we go. Nami George is going to be doing the commentary. All right, joined here by Viterbo head coach Ryan DeLong. Probably got to start in the obvious spot after not a great start to that third set. What better late in the third set that got you that third set in the sweep?
Yeah, it was a great comeback there. We kind of just let them off the hook right away, right? Gave them I don't know what the comeback was, but we gave them way too many points early, a lot of errors. We used our timeouts early, and we were already kind of thinking of what we're going to, what if there's any changes for that fourth set that we need to make. But Izzy made a good run, and Mia closed it off for us. That was good.
They always kind of talk in baseball in a game when you're down a bunch late, you want to at least put enough of a rally together to make the other team use their closer. Is there anything that compares to that? I was trying to think of that off the top of my head in volleyball.
Oh, for sure. We didn't want to, if they would have beat us 25-10 or something and just kicked our tails, and lose the momentum. So we at the very least, we want to get the momentum back, right? So if we could get the momentum back and make a little run, I think that would give us some confidence, and that's what we were trying to do. And then, we just, got back to 20, and then, I thought we were in good shape after we got back to 20.
Don't take it for granted. Much better team at the net tonight was probably the biggest reason statistically you won the match, right?
Yeah, no, that team's pretty good, and we just Jada played well, and we they're second place in our conference. I thought they were pretty disciplined, skilled team, and I think sometimes those teams are a little easier for us to play just because they play volleyball the right way. Sometimes we see some teams that may just play volleyball a little different, right? And so these teams that we're used to seeing, it helps us, and I was happy how we played, all three sets. Besides that, slow start in that third.
Better serving tonight here. That's something we've kind of been talking about here. Fewer service errors, and this is probably, as you said, one of those better teams where you maybe take some chances serving. So a good sign that you fewer service errors against a better team.
Yeah, we had some runs. Izzy had a good run there. We had Tex had a run there in that second set. Mia had a couple. So, we got them out of system quite a bit, I would say all day long, and kind of, made them predictable. But we served the ball well. Missed a couple early, but overall it was pretty solid.
How'd Halverson look in your opinion in her first match back after missing a few?
I think she kind of ran out of gas in that third set, and Casey came in and had 5 kills, no errors. So, great job with Casey coming in. I thought Haley, overall looked pretty good. Off for a week and a half or two, kind of get her legs under her. We're glad to have her back. She's a big part of our success, but it was a good first start for her, but it was good that, Casey and me in her absence played really well. So, we got some depth there, and they didn't really get to see it or show it early, but I thought me and Casey the last 2 weeks played really well in Haley's absence.
Two more things for you. First of all, I've always thought this whole season your ceiling is high enough. When you're playing at your best, you're good enough to compete with teams kind of deep into a final site in Sioux City. Is your floor high enough is kind of my biggest question. I've thought this year, when you're not playing well, has that gotten better, or does that still need to get better?
Craig, that's why you know it all, man. This is probably the, that's the perfect, thought process for what we look like. We have a good ceiling, or a high ceiling. We play pretty well. We can be really good at times, and we can throw some stinker games up. Like that third set, that first 15 points, we were just awful. So, yes, I think that's the thing that worries me the most. We played really good against some of the top teams in the country, and then we haven't played very good against some of the weaker teams in the country. So I think that's part of our youth, and that's the exciting part as the future goes for us. But, when you have Jada and say a few of our seniors, Maddie, Sadie, they can neutralize those things and get you going. I think that's what happened tonight. When we needed a point, Jada was able to get it to us, and I think that's what we need to make sure we rely on down the stretch.
Probably not the ideal question to finish with, but being you brought up Jada Mitchell, is she looking at playing in Europe at all? I know Aspen and Geidel both played over there, similar players way back when. Is she looking at playing over there?
Yeah, we actually are scheduled to go to Europe with our team next July. It's our third trip to Europe in my time here. Third trip since 2017, so that's pretty exciting. And she'll be when we go over there. I think she's going to play with the Sylvania team for a little bit for a tryout and see where she goes from there. So I'm excited for. We'll see what the future holds for her on that.
Congratulations on the win, Ryan. We'll talk to you Friday. Yep, that's Viterbo head coach Ryan DeLong. Well, let's wrap things up here. Viterbo once again a 16, 15, and 21 winner. They are now 23-6 on the year, 17-0 in the Chicagoland. The Chicagoland winning streak over 2 years is up to 34 straight. Winning streak right now is up to 6 in a row, and they won 10 of 11, 8-2 at home. St. Francis drops to 17-13, 13-4 in conference play. Still control their own destiny for a 2 seed and a home match in the conference tournament semifinals that would potentially be for a national tournament berth. We're going to take about a 20-minute break or so, I would guess. Nami George is going to step in, and he'll have the call for you on the women's basketball game that's coming up here. You can see the players for Viterbo already getting warmed up for that one. Craig Otto here signing off. Nami George will be back with you in about 20 minutes for the women's basketball game. Good evening, everybody.